Okay, self-concept is being taught in a way that makes you feel like you have to earn your desires, earn your manifestations. Self-concept, even Neville Goddard himself, the person that was like the main teacher of change a conception of yourself and you will change the world that you live in. Right. It's almost like it got taught into a way that you have to earn it with sleep tapes, and you got to be worthy, and you got to become that person that has that thing first. Like, you got to say you're worthy and that you're chosen and you're loved, and like almost like you got to earn and like fix yourself is the way that it's presented and taught a lot on this app and on YouTube. Like, you got to fix yourself. You got to fix all the broken pieces of your past, and you got to fix the things that you think about yourself, you think about others, because I know, because that's how I was taught as well. And I was just like, no, this is like some BS, okay? Because here's the thing, changing the conception of yourself. Let's say that you want to be wealthy, okay? So if you're wealthy, right, you're okay. I'm gonna give you an example. Today I was at a store. I was looking at some clothes, and while I was in there shopping, I was looking at stuff, and I was like, I look at things like, is this cute? Is this gonna look good on me? And then I heard all these girls around me saying, you're like, oh my God, can you believe that $79 for that shirt? Like, look at the price. Can you believe this is for this? For this? It's $59 for this? Like, what are they thinking? Like, this is ridiculous. And like, what is the material made of? And it's like the way that they think. Would you think that that's somebody that has wealth? Or is that somebody that's on a budget hoping to be wealthy? So changing your conception of yourself, for example, with this topic, with money, right? Someone that has money and knows that money just keeps coming in. Yes, there's some frugal millionaires, right? But we don't want to be those, okay? Changing your conception of yourself as someone that has money, even people that are frugal millionaires, right? They don't look at money that way. They know that they have more than enough. At least this is me, okay? Someone that has money knows that you have more than enough, that you have there's nothing to worry about. Like, you have it covered. You can buy 30 of those if you want to. That's a different question, right? But someone that already has money is not constantly nitpicking how much something cost and complaining about how so much something cost and constantly worried about how much money they have. They just look at their money as an opportunity to invest. They have this freedom, right? You have freedom. When you know you have money, you just feel this sense of freedom, like you can do whatever you want, like it's no big deal. And while everybody's else at work, it's at 2:00 and you're shopping for clothes and having coffee. And you're just like, yeah, I remember when I used to have to slave away at a job too, right? There's a whole different vibe. So it's not that changing your conception of yourself is not because you're broken and because you have to change all your money beliefs and that you have to change all the things that you think about money and all your generational trauma with money and all that crap, right? No, it's about you seeing yourself as that person that has money. So back to the store, right? So if someone that has money, they're just going to look at things and be like, oh, that's cool, that's cute. And depending on the cute level, this is me, depending on the cuteness level, I'm like, hell yeah, I don't care how much this thing costs, I'm buying it, right? But if it's like, meh, it's like, I can live without it, but it would be kind of nice to have. I'm like, and then I'll look at the price tag and say, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Do you see? It's everyone is different. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but I want you guys to get the gist. So self-concept is to start talking as a person that already has it. So when you say affirmations about about wealth, you're just like, God, I'm so, I'm so happy that I have the money to buy whatever the hell I want. I'm so glad I don't have to go to work like everybody else, right? I'm so glad that my life is easy, right? You look at your bank account and you're just like, oh, yeah, it's like, you know what? That money's like, I love it. It's always fluctuating, but it always is coming in. So I'm changing the way that I look at even what I have. Yeah, that's cool. But I said I have XYZ money. So that's okay. Whatever that is. Okay. Because energy doesn't care if it's a penny or $1,000,000. A penny's in $1,000,000 and $1,000,000 is in a penny. Remember that. Okay, so it's not so much about what you're doing, how much you can afford, how much you can buy. It's like who's in there. Like, let's say if you're shopping and your bank account is right at the moment showing you don't have the money, you're like, but who's looking? Who's shopping, right? How would the person that has money shop? Unlike those other girls who are just like, oh my God, it's so expensive. I've had some friends that have come to me who want to manifest more money, and I've had multiple discussions and talks with them because they've asked me for my tips, and I have told them multiple times that it's not so much about what you spend, it's about who is spending it. So it's like, if you're a cheapo, right? If you're a cheap ass and you want more money, you're not displaying wealth. You're displaying being a cheapo. Okay, so if you're constantly complaining about money, how much everything costs and how much people charging you and how long it takes to have money and how much debt you have, and that's where your mentality is. Somebody that is wealth is unbothered by these things. It's not that you're unbothered by every price of coffee or whatever. It's just like, it's no big deal. And it's so funny because I've been in really deep conversations with certain people in my life talking about this topic, and like literally sitting down and giving them like what things that I used to do when I was a coach, when I was doing a lot of coaching. I would sit there and give them like all the tea on how I would coach someone that wanted money, and then they would eat it up, they're like, oh my God, thank you so much, like, I get it. And then 5 minutes later, they have an opportunity to display their wealth and share their wealth, and then they choose to be cheap right in front of my eyes. Literally, right 5 minutes after I spent 2 hours talking to them, they turn around and display their cheapness, the lack. So do you see? So I could sit here and talk to someone all day long, but until you change your identity, so that's what self-concept is. Self-concept is not to fix yourself. It's not you don't have to fix anything. You're not broken. Self-concept, like an affirmation's about, I'm wealthy and all, whatever, right? I'm loved, right? All of those I am statements, all they're doing is helping you think and talk as the person that has it. That's what self-concept is. Self-concept is not to fix yourself. You're not broken. You don't have to earn your worth by repeating that you're worthy. No, you're already worthy. So you don't have to say these things millions of times a day to convince yourself. And this goes for every topic, for money, for love, for health, for success, for whatever you want. So remember, self-concept is not work. When I hear coaches say, oh, you got to do the work. No, you don't. There's no work, right? And in fact, even the self-concept, like changing the conception of yourself, doesn't mean you have to sit down and write a list of things, okay? It's just you remembering, you're like, all I'm doing is making a decision and saying, this is who I am. And if you want to, you start talking as a person that already has it, but it's not necessary.